Why does the human consciousness see color? Light rays are the paths taken by photons as they travel at light speed through space-time. So let's follow a single photon as it leaves the immense fission furnace of our local star, the Sun. Firstly, it takes a single photon some 500 seconds, or 8 minutes and 20 seconds, to travel the average distance between the Sun and Earth, that distance being about 150 million kilometers, or about 93 million miles. As the photon enters Earth's gravity well, its trajectory becomes distorted by gravitational lensing, and then, at relativistic speeds, light can travel 10 feet in only 10.167 nanoseconds. It bounces off some object in our local vicinity and into our eyeballs. When it bounces off the object, the wavelength of the photon becomes bent again, this time into the color of radiation we then can see with our eyes. A single photon interacts with the electrons of the object it deflects off of in an event called the Compton effect, where the trajectory and frequency of the photon take on some of the characteristics of the electron clusters or molecules that it bounces off of. If the object the photon reflects off of is shale, it will look like the color gray. If the object is a rose, it will look like the color red. This is because the object is absorbing all other colors and hues of visible light, except that which it is reflecting. So, shale is really every tone besides gray in reality, and likewise a rose is every color other than red. But because these are the colors that reflect from the chemical composition of these objects, that is, because these are the angles of light reflected off them, the object will appear to us as being the one color it doesn't absorb, that is, the one color it isn't. People see light rays with our eyes. These organs have evolved for billions of years to form a biological system capable of translating such light rays into chemical electrical impulses along neurons into and inside our brains. Inside the fluid of the eyeball float the rods and cones responsible for seeing contrast, grayscale, and color, respectively, and these assemble a small holographic image of what is focused through the pupil's lens by the constriction or contraction of the surrounding iris muscles. Notably, this image inside the eye is reversed upside down from reality due to the focusing of the lens, and is then flipped again, reorienting it correctly, as it is processed along the eyeball's neural stalks into the brain. Inside the brain, it is the gray matter of the upper or dorsal, hind or anterior cerebrum, called the occipital lobe, that contains the cortex responsible for processing visual sensory stimuli. Now, if it were not for all these factors, color would not exist to us, and the idea would be a meaningless term. Color exists only as a byproduct of our perception limiting the percentage of the electromagnetic spectrum we are able to see to only the 7-color spectral division of white light by a prism called the rainbow spectrum. If we could also see ultraviolet, infrared, radio waves, X-rays, and even gamma radiation, what additional colors would these add to our limited present palette?